Hi everyone, my name is Rachel. I'm 35 years old, and this is the story of how I wasted a decade of my life waiting to be loved by the man I married. We got married when I was 25. It was a beautiful fall wedding, the kind you dream about. My dress was ivory lace, there were string lights in the trees, and when he said, "I do," I thought I had everything I'd ever need. But almost immediately after the wedding, things changed. It wasn't dramatic at first. No fights, no betrayals, just distance. Little moments where his touch felt colder, where he pulled away when I tried to cuddle, where sex went from regular to rare to non-existent. Within a few months, I realized something terrifying. I was married to someone who didn't seem to want me. At first, I thought it was stress. He had just started a new job. Long hours, adjusting to married life. Maybe it was just a phase. I gave him space. I cooked his favorite meals. I lit candles, wore lingerie, and told him I loved him every night. He'd say, "Love you too," as he turned over and fell asleep. 6 months in, I cried the first time I realized it had been 3 weeks since we'd had sex. 3 months later, I begged him to talk to me. I asked him what was wrong. He shrugged. "Nothing's wrong. I'm just not in the mood." That became the default answer. For years, I stopped counting how many times I asked. How many nights I went to bed crying silently beside him. How many mornings I woke up early just to stare at the bathroom mirror, asking myself what was wrong with me. I asked him if I wasn't attractive to him anymore. He rolled his eyes and said, "You're beautiful. Stop being dramatic." But words mean nothing when your husband won't kiss you, won't touch you, won't even look at you like he used to. I begged. I pleaded. I told him how alone I felt. He said, "I'm just not a touchy person. You knew that." But he wasn't always like that. Before we got married, he was affectionate. He couldn't keep his hands off me. Now I was lucky to get a peck on the cheek. Every time I brought it up, he made me feel needy, clingy, desperate. I started to believe him. I tried everything. Therapy, romantic getaways, even sexy games or outfits I found online. He'd humor me once in a while, a quick, emotionless encounter, then retreat again for weeks or months. We celebrated our 10th anniversary last August. I cried alone in bed that night while he fell asleep watching YouTube. The next month, I told him that I was dying inside, that I couldn't keep going like this. He stared at me and said nothing. Then came March, 7 months since our anniversary. Nothing had changed. No therapy, no affection, no effort. And then he sat me down and told me he was at rock bottom, that he was hurting, that he needed help and wanted to change. I wanted to laugh. All those years I cried, begged, screamed. I wrote him letters. I told him I felt like a ghost. He didn't care. But now that he was finally feeling something, now it was serious, I told him I wanted a divorce. He cried, sobbed actually. He begged me not to leave, said he was finally ready to be the man I deserved, that he'd do anything. Go to therapy, read books, have date nights. Just give me one more chance. And for the first time in 10 years, I felt nothing. No spark of hope. No twinge of love, just empty. I'd begged him to change for a decade. But now that I had nothing left to give, now he was ready? Here's the thing no one tells you. Emotional neglect is a slow death. It doesn't leave bruises. It doesn't make headlines. But it erodes your soul until you forget who you were before the silence. He didn't cheat. He didn't hit me. But he starved me of love until I stopped believing I deserved it. And now he wants to fix things? No. You don't get to ignore someone's pain for 10 years and expect redemption in 10 minutes. I moved out last month. I'm staying with my sister while I get my own place. He sends long texts every few days. Promises, apologies. One time he left a box of my favorite pastries at her doorstep. I didn't open it. I'm not angry anymore. I'm free. I'm learning to enjoy music again. I dance in the kitchen with my niece. I started painting again. For the first time in years, I feel alive. He calls it a midlife crisis. I call it waking up. There are nights when I still cry. I grieve the life I thought I had, the husband I thought I married, the kids we didn't have, the birthdays I spent alone while he worked late, the anniversaries I celebrated with candles and hope, only to be met with silence. But I also smile, because I finally did something for me. I walked away, and I won't look back. Epilogue. To anyone reading this, wondering if you're asking for too much, you're not. If you're begging for basic affection, you're not needy. If you're crying yourself to sleep, you're not overreacting. If you're exhausted from holding the relationship together with duct tape and prayers, you are not crazy. You're just alone in a place you were promised never to be lonely. And if they won't fight for you after years of your tears, then fight for yourself. Because you deserve more than the bare minimum. You deserve love that wants to love you back.